Happy Monday, guys. Happy National Championship Day. It's the Daily Juice podcast with me, Matt Perrault, here every single morning. Thanks to BettingPros.com. Always being brought to you by BetMGM. The offer, use it tonight, Bama, Georgia, for the National Championship. Bet $10 to win $150 on any event. Use that promo code JUICE150 at BetMGM. New users, promo code JUICE150 to win $150. $10 bet. Any bet, you win it. $150 just for making the bet for new users with BetMGM. All right, so I've got a national championship bet that I'm sure some of you want to hear all about. Hold on a second, okay? Because there is a ton to get into here in the wake of the Raiders and the Chargers. Okay, so big picture is this. We won the bet. Big picture is we had a 7-1 day, up 4 units, I believe, is what we were up. So remember when I was talking about making a dent in that 13, down 13 units? It's a pretty good dent, okay? Now we head towards the postseason, so hopefully we'll keep this rolling into the playoffs, but that's a pretty good dent, being down 13 units, now being down 9, so that's good. Now if you combine the college football being up 12 units and now being down 9 in the NFL, we're actually profitable for the football season, so that's good, right? But we'll get to more of that a little bit later on. Let's talk about that crazy game between the Chargers and the Raiders, and I am so hot at Brandon Staley right now, and we won the bet. So let's go through this. The Raiders were going to allow a tie to happen. I said on the Discord channel on Twitter, Raider field goal, Charger field goal, okay? The Chargers had, 100 fourth down conversions. It was insane. Justin Herbert played his butt off. What a game by Justin Herbert. My God. 4th and 21, 4th and 15, 4th and 10. Did not matter. That guy was converting and converting and converting. He wanted to be in the playoffs. The NBC cameras caught him mouthing, "I've never wanted a tie so bad in my life." Of course, because a tie meant the Chargers were going to be in the playoffs. But here's what I think Brandon Staley is. And I don't know if he's going to be on the press conference saying this or not. The game got off 10 minutes ago, okay? But Staley is one of the dudes that's saying, "I'd rather lose than tie." I guarantee you he's one of those dudes. I guarantee it. When he's asked the question is, why did you take the timeout with 38 seconds left? That will be his answer. Trying to preserve the clock. Look, I wanted, they could have missed a field goal. Nonsense. The Raiders were comfortable running the clock out. There were 38 seconds left in the game when he called his first timeout. Now, people have pointed out there were 5 seconds on the play clock. That is true. But here's the thing. The Raiders had the football at the 2-minute warning, okay? 1st and 10. They get a negative 1-yard run by Josh Jacobs off the left guard. Clock to tick, to tick, to tick, to tick, okay? Comes down. We have 120 on the play clock, 120 on the game clock. 2nd and 11 from the 46-yard line. They're not in field goal range. Run by Jacobs to the 39-yard line, 7-yard run by Josh Jacobs. It's now 3rd and 4, okay? 3rd and 4, 38 seconds left on the play clock. We know what the Raiders are going to do. So let's say they snap the ball with 1 second left on the game clock. That means there'd be 35 seconds or 34 seconds. 34 seconds on the game clock, okay? You snap the ball. You run the ball, you run the play. Whether you make it or not, it doesn't matter. If you get the first down, game's over. If you don't get the first down, it's up to the Chargers to just let the game go. The Raiders were going to let the game go. It was in their language, how they're running the football. They're basically signaling to the Chargers, hey, we're cool with this if you're cool with this. And Staley calls timeout. He calls timeout. He decided to force his team or make his team miss the playoffs. The Raiders also didn't have to kick that, by the way. The Raiders could have just taken a knee, 2 seconds left, drop back, take a knee. There's no real reason to do that, right? They didn't have to kick. So why did they kick? Why did they risk kicking? Because you block, gets blocked, they're going back the other way, right? Why would they risk doing that? The reason why they're risking doing that is because they're saying bleep you to Staley, okay? That's why they did that. Because he called timeout. When I was talking to Dave Sharapan, we did a little Twitter Spaces thing before the game, and we were arguing about the tie as to whether or not the two teams would tie. And I told him, you can collude without talking. You can signal without having a communication as to whether or not you're actually going to tie the game. You just look across the sidelines and you kind of know. You know by the play calling, you know by the lineup, you know by the way the game's going. How are you snapping the ball late into the play clock, late in the game clock, which is all the things the Raiders were doing while they were not in field goal range. Okay? Raiders had that one long pass on 3rd and 8 from the 44, their own 44, in which they converted. Okay? And then the 2-minute warning happens. And after the 2-minute warning, that first down run from the Charger 45-yard line goes for -1 yards. And I think in that moment, the Raiders said, we're cool with going to a tie here. We're in the postseason. We don't need to risk it. Let's not have something crazy happen. Let's go ahead and tie. And then Brendan Staley got a phone call from somewhere in his brain, somewhere, and decided to blow the whole thing up. Said, oh, no, I'm not going to be a part of this. I'm not going to be part of a tie. Because if you were honestly trying to get your team into the playoffs, taking that tie was moronic. It was stupid. It was a shot. It was a bleep you. And the Raiders said, fine, man, you want to be that way? You're going home. And that's where the Chargers are now going to be, watching the postseason just like me and you. Unbelievably stupid. You want to blame somebody? Blame the head coach of the Chargers because he had a playoff berth sitting there and he decided not to take it. Credit Rick Bisaccia. Even Derek Carr in the post-game interview with Michelle DeFourier was asked, did that timeout change your mindset? He said, yes, that timeout changed our mindset as to what we were doing because they were cool with it until the Chargers weren't playing along. And if you weren't going to play ball, fine. You know, ever play pickup game and like you're going soft, you're playing fine, then you get that hard foul. Okay, fine. Let's go. That's what the Raiders were doing. We're cool. Hey, you want to let this slide out and we just go off into our own ways and you go on your way and we go on our way. You get in, we get in. We're all good, right? You comfortable with that? Chargers said no. They weren't comfortable with that. So we get an unbelievable drive out of the 49ers and Jimmy Garoppolo to get that game into overtime. And then an unbelievable victory for the 49ers. We covered that 3.5 with them. We cover with the Chargers. Both those teams win outright. The teaser was a miracle. I don't know if you guys watched that or not, but it was a touchdown backdoor by the Falcons to come in and cover that plus 10.5. It was just all over the place. The props went 4-1, which were really, really cool. So just a big day. Our best day of the NFL season from a money standpoint. And I think 7-1 probably is our best day. I went 9-2 personally on the day, so I was great on the day. Just a really, really big day. Fun day betting. Yeah, only bets I got wrong was I got the Pitts yardage wrong because they really didn't target him much with that hamstring. And then I had the Ravens and I had the Ravens minus 2.5 in the first half, and that didn't come in. So Steelers are in the playoffs. The Patriots go to Buffalo now. Raiders are going to Cincinnati. Line is 6. I love the Bengals there. Just need to check on a couple of things, make sure everybody is there. And then I love that minus 6. I will jump on that. I may jump on that tomorrow, but I'm afraid it's going to go to 7 and then stay there. So I may have to bet it tonight. So if you agree with me, look, fade 2 teams to fade. Fade the Steelers and fade the Raiders. Okay. I'm telling you right now. Okay. Those two teams are walking into beehives and it's not going to be pretty for them in my mind. Patriots Buffalo is going to be an absolute war. That game's going to be amazing. I can't wait to watch that game. The Monday night game, by the way, is Cardinals Rams, which is fascinating given what those teams have looked like in McVay's domination, even though he lost the first game and how he's owned Kingsbury and storylines all over the place. Plenty of time to bet on those games. I'm really excited to get involved and bet on these games coming up next weekend. But we have a huge game tonight. We have a national championship game tonight with Georgia minus 2.5. Okay, I have been going back and forth. Alabama catching points is stupid. Georgia 9-5 against the spread this year. Alabama 8-6 against the spread this year. The first matchup was a big win. It was a 6-point number, and Bama won by 17. Georgia's defense has been really good. They just stomped Michigan. Alabama just stomped Cincinnati. It's Nick Saban against a former assistant coach. It's such a hard game to bet. Who has the better head coach? Alabama. Who has the better quarterback? Alabama. Who has the better defense? Georgia. And that is my problem and why I cannot get my brain around which side to be on. My heart says bet Alabama. Take the points. Take Bama on the money line. Everyone's taking Bama on the money line. It's a lopsided. I mean, the public is coming in heavy here on Alabama to win. Georgia minus 2.5. The secondary for Georgia has got to play extremely well tonight. I think they can, but if they don't blitz and if they don't figure out, I think Georgia gets a huge break by playing Bama already. I think Bama does as well, but I think Georgia gets a huge mulligan to play this in the national championship game because Bama wins the SEC. I think Georgia's going to win the national championship, and I think it comes down to their ability to stop Alabama throwing the football. And I think this pass defense, which gives up 5.9 yards per pass play, this team that gets after the quarterback, top 40 in sack percentage, top 15 in sack percentage, top 40 in interception percentage, giving up just 186 yards per game pass play. But that's because of that defensive line that you cannot run on. And what did we see Alabama do? They ran the ball on Cincinnati like crazy. That's not happening here, okay? Beating the same team twice in the same year, I keep on coming back to this, that like, man, it's a big deal that if Georgia had played Alabama in the national championship game, Bama would have killed them because Bama had that amazing game plan. But this is a second time around, and I just think that Georgia, I just think that they're going to make the adjustments. My big fear is Stetson Bennett. My big fear is the quarterback. My hope is that Cook has a huge game running the football here. I've had a very good college football season. My heart says Alabama. My head is going Georgia. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm going to lay the 2.5 points here. I am going Georgia minus 2.5 for 1 unit in the national championship game. I will be looking at the under. I'm going to watch that and see if it climbs. It's 52.5. If it gets up to 53, 54, somewhere in that range, I probably bet the under. I think Georgia in the under is the play. I think if you like Alabama, I think you take Alabama in the over here. I think it's a 20-17 type of game. I think it's a hell of a football game. I think it's going to be an absolute SEC throwback war. I don't see either team scoring in the 30s, but I've been wrong before, okay? I'm not going to go too crazy here. I'm not going to get overcommitted. We've had a very good college football season. This is one game. I know it's the national championship game, but if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. That's fine. I don't want to give back too much. So for right now, I'm only going to commit to one play, and that's Georgia minus 2.5 to win the national championship for 1 unit. My name is Matt Perrault. You can follow me on Twitter at SportsTalkMatt. Each and every morning, it's the Daily Juice Podcast. Always being brought to you by BetMGM.